we never thought the meat business could be like this. And in fact, I'm not even sure we consider ourselves to be in the meat business anymore. I mean, our mission statement is we deliver exceptional experiences that bring people together. We view ourselves as being in the experience business, and we're helping our customers have great home meal, dining, gathering, reconnecting experiences with their family and friends. And even when you give Omaha Steaks as a gift, you're giving that recipient a chance to do the same with their family. So you're not just giving meat in a box, you're giving an experience. And that's a really different way to think about the meat business.
Hey, welcome to the podcast Starting Line. I love this podcast. We get to go one-on-one with some of the world's most successful entrepreneurs. I'm, of course, Kim Komando. Every now and then, I come across a company whose beginnings are so humble. It's amazing that they were able to survive. But let me tell you, Omaha Steaks not only survived, they are thriving. And after over 100 years in the business, they're obviously doing something right. They have 2,000 full-time employees, plus 4,000 more part-timers during the holidays. 3 million customers, including me, and 70 retail locations, along with, get this, annual sales, are you ready? $450 million. Wow. You never believe that the original owners were actually outlaws in their own country, but they were. They were being persecuted for their religious beliefs, so they risked everything and came here to America to try to eke out a living. But they got way more than what they bargained for. So what started as humble beginnings, they couldn't even afford their own storefront sign, for Pete's sake, now is a worldwide household name. I think a lot of that has to do with the company culture and, of course, generosity. Because when I asked Todd Simon, Senior Vice President of Omaha Steaks, to share his incredible success story here on Starting Line, he said, I'll do one better. I'm going to roll out the red carpet for you guys.
I'm Todd Simon. I'm one of the fifth-generation family owners of Omaha Steaks.
So we've all heard of Omaha Steaks, and you just said fifth generation. Boy, goes way back, huh?
Yep. Omaha Steaks was founded by my great-great-grandfather in 1917.
And what sparked it? Was he a butcher or?
He was. He was a butcher in Latvia, came to America, went through Ellis Island, got on the train, headed west, and got off in Nebraska, in Omaha, for some strange reason. And here we are, 101 years later.
When did the mail order home delivery start?
So that started in the mid-'50s when my grandfather got requests from people who had eaten Omaha Steaks on the passenger rail trains that had been provisioned through Omaha. We were the supplier to those trains, and they had a great steak on the train, and they would send a message back to my grandfather saying, we'd like to have some of those at home. So he would cut them by hand, wrap them in wax paper, put them in wax-lined boxes with chunks of ice, and put them back on the train and ship them out to people. And then my father graduated from college in 1959 with a degree in philosophy, which made him uniquely suited to start a mail-order steak company. And so
that's true. That's funny.
So, having to find your way in the family business, and his older brother was already there, and his younger brother was coming in. So he decided, well, why don't I just see if I can do something with this mail-order thing? And so we started placing some national advertising in the late 50s. And sort of the rest is history. We're just an overnight success that took about 50 years.
Yeah, I'm an overnight success, too. It took me about 23 years. Yes.
You know how it feels.
Oh, yeah, don't I ever. And especially it being a family-owned business. There are certain really wonderful things about having family in your business. Then, every once in a while, there's the drama-rama, right? Tell me you have at least a little drama-rama.
Oh, we have a little drama. I like to say we, like today, because my father and my uncle have both passed away, and we've got one uncle still in the business, and then there's my cousin and myself, so there's really three of us. But back when there was five of us, we would lock ourselves in a room and just scream at each other at the top of our voices until we'd reach consensus. And then we'd kind of walk out of the room and say, okay, we've decided whatever it is. But we've never been like a hierarchical business. We really like to reach consensus in the family about big decisions.
Yeah, you have to. Although I know, my husband and I run this company, and there are times when certain key staff members come in and say, you know what, I feel like I'm the child of divorced parents. So it's like, mom says this, dad says this. It's kind of crazy. All right. So we went from mail order, home delivery. What happened with the internet? What'd that do to the business?
Well, the great thing about being a direct-to-consumer company and a direct marketing company was we were really already prepared for the Internet. The Internet really just became a new front end on our business. The back end was still the same. We knew how to take an order. We knew how to pack an order, ship an order. We knew how to cut great steaks and make great products for our customers. So all of that was already in place. And so, for us, the Internet became, just another way to service our customers. And we were one of the first merchants to really embrace the Internet. We were one of the first 10 companies to sell on AOL. We were selling on CompuServe before that in the early 90s.
I remember that.
We were one of the first companies to have our own website and to scale email marketing. So it's been good for us and great for our customers, too, because when you go online to omahasteaks.com, you get shown such amazing photographs and different ways that you can use the product and how new products, the website and the mobile web now are really just, the most dynamic form of catalog that you can imagine.
Was there ever a time that you thought that you would not be part of Omaha Steaks? I mean, did you ever want to just get on a motorcycle and drive around the United States?
Well, who wouldn't?
I sometimes...
Isn't that everybody's post-college dream? Get on a motorcycle and drive around the United States?
Yeah, although, the millennials, they have been able to do this. That's what I'd like to know. How come I wasn't able to do it, but you're allowed to, travel the world on your bucket list? What's going on?
I think I always knew that I was going to go into the business. I didn't really admit it to myself until about 3 months before I graduated from college, when I realized that I hadn't sent out any resumes and I hadn't applied for grad school and I hadn't done any of the things you're supposed to do with a college degree. So, then I sort of called up my dad and said, "Hey, Dad, what do you say I try out the Omaha Steaks for, and see if I like it?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds great."
What was your first job?
Well, my first job was to do every job in the company for 15 minutes.
Perfect.
I did that, and that took a year.
So you worked in the warehouse and packing and shipping and phone banks, everything?
Cutting steaks,
wow.
Taking orders, shipping packages, doing marketing. And then I sort of fell into being kind of an assistant in the marketing department and learning more about marketing. And then we ended up with a resignation in what was our very small retail store operation. This was in 1986. We had 7 retail stores. And so my first job was to be the general manager of those 7 retail stores, which was a great first job because it got me to understand our customers. It got me to understand merchandising, the intricacies of what it's like to run a retail business. And now we have 60 retail stores, so, it's become a pretty big business for us.
So when you were running the retail stores, did you ever do something where your dad looked at you and said, "Son, I love you, but that just wasn't a good decision"?
I'm sure I made some pretty lousy decisions along the way. And I went to business school, and
where'd you go?
I took a lot of to the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania.
Fabulous. Yeah, that's one of the leading top business schools in the world.
Yeah, and it was a great experience to be there and a great experience to be in Philadelphia. And I learned a lot about sort of the theory of business, but the practice of business you learn on the job. And so, having to make the decision of, doing a budget and planning the marketing and evaluating the performance of people and being critical of myself about hiring and being, and coaching and, all the things that you learn as a manager, you just can't learn that stuff from reading a book. You have to be out there doing it.
It's kind of like, kids will come in and they're fresh out of broadcasting school or the Walter Cronkite School of Broadcasting that's associated with Arizona State University. And they come in here and into the studios. They're so green, and you think back and I remember, I used to be nervous too, but it's okay. After time, you'll take that theory and you'll apply it and you'll develop your own style and things like that. But what a legacy. I mean, Omaha Steaks, to be part of that and to keep the company moving forward. So when we start looking at some new deals that you guys are doing with all the increased competition, have you ever thought about doing or do you have a steak of the month club? I mean, with so many subscription boxes going out the door now?
We actually do have a Steak of the Month club. We call them our culinary calendars, and we have a whole assortment of them, or we'll build one for you custom. And then we can just schedule the shipments, stack them up, and away they go. So we have that kind of thing. We've actually had it for many years. In fact, I think we even own the trademark on Steak of the Month Club.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I'll say Steak of the Month Club, TM. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things I think that's been, kind of a trend are complete meals.
Yes.
And we have addressed that. In fact, one of our best new product launches ever started in late 2016 and carried us through 2017 and still today. We have a line of slow cooker meals where you just put everything in your slow cooker, you press the start button, and 8 hours later you have a really, really great meal, and people love those, particularly in the fall. And then we also have skillet meals, which go from freezer to table in 15 minutes or less using just one pan. And one of the things that we've heard from customers about some of the meal kits out there is that while they do alleviate some of the recipe planning and some of the shopping, they don't necessarily alleviate the chopping and the cleaning and the time it takes to cook a meal and the psychic weight of knowing that you have to cook that meal because it's in your fridge, and if you don't, it's going to go bad. So, we feel like we've addressed some pretty major issues by, number one, having these be frozen, which is kind of our trademark, that you have a library of them in your freezer. They're available for you whenever you want to cook them, and you don't have to feel pressure because they'll last in your freezer for, 6 months. And they provide an incredible amount of convenience because they use one appliance. They don't get your kitchen dirty. You spend 15 minutes or less in preparation. So we sort of check a bunch of boxes there, and it's been very successful for us.
So did I read that you were on Celebrity Apprentice?
I was. My cousin and I were on in, I think it was 2011.
So what was that like? And who were you judging? I mean, you're always judging somebody famous, right?
Right. It was a great experience, to be on a national TV show and have the show be totally focused on your business and your product because, the assignment of the teams, in our case, it was really fun. They were supposed to produce an infomercial about Omaha Steaks, as the ultimate Father's Day gift.
Oh, wow.
And so, it sort of, was really good for our brand. And we had, I'm trying to remember who was on it. I think LaToya Jackson was on.
Okay.
It was a men versus women
didn't you have Meatloaf?
Team.
I thought I remember Meatloaf was on there.
Meatloaf was there.
Because, it was kind of like, Meatloaf, Omaha Steaks, Gary
Busey.
Oh, yeah, Gary Busey. I remember him.
Gosh, who else? A country western singer who ended up winning that whole season, was on. Little John.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that one, but that's okay.
A rapper. Right. I think his name was Little John.
Or Little Bob.
It was really fun. Yeah, I know. I mean, it was really fun. We got to spend time with all the stars, and we got to, help decide who was going to get fired, and there was a lot of drama there. It was fun.
What was the biggest takeaway you had from that?
I think the biggest takeaway was that done properly, national TV can be very effective for brands. As a direct marketing company, we've always been very focused on return on investment. Sure. When it comes to any kind of marketing we do, and we were in this case as well, but there aren't as many clear metrics on how to measure that. And so we took a chance.
But you did see a dramatic lift in sales?
We saw a lift. We definitely felt like we got our money's worth at the end of the day.
Because, as a business owner, we have a lot of small business owners who listen to this podcast and listen to this part of the show, that we're all trying to figure out what is the most cost-effective means to bring in a new customer, right? And also how to retain a customer, because it's always easier to keep a current customer than go get a new customer. And I have to tell you, Omaha Steaks is a fabulous job. I had not ordered anything on this particular email address from Omaha Steaks. This is probably back in September, October this year. And it was an older email address. Then out of the blue, my phone rings and says, "Hi, I'm so-and-so from Omaha Steaks, and you haven't ordered from us in a while, and we're running this special." And she was so pleasant. She was so nice. I explained to her, I said, "No, this is an old account." You know what I mean? I think I have 3 or 4 accounts with Omaha Steaks. But as far as customer retention, you guys do a fabulous job at that. What do you attribute that to? Is it because of everybody loves the brand, everybody loves the company? What do you think?
So it's partly that people love the brand. It's partly that people love the company. It's partly the fact that we sell a consumable product. So, you can love BMW, but you're only going to buy a new one, every 5 years or something like that, 4 or 5 years. Whereas, when it comes to Omaha Steaks, you can love our product. You can buy a dozen steaks, and when the dozen steaks are gone, if you loved it, you're going to order some more. So just the nature of the product, helps us with repeat business, right? We are very careful about, again, our roots in direct marketing have always made us data junkies. So we have a lot of information about our customers, what they're buying, how often they're buying, when they fall off of their pattern from buying. And so that we can then use that. So if you're a regular buyer and you've been buying from me every 2 months like clockwork, and then 4 months goes by and you haven't placed a purchase, that raises a red flag. We kick your name to one of our account executives who's going to call you and see if we can help you out with some steaks. So those are the kinds of things that we do. And I do give a lot of talks to business groups. And one of the things I tell them is understanding what you can spend to acquire a customer and what you can spend to maintain a customer. Knowing those two metrics and then being very disciplined about sticking within that is a really important thing. And a lot of businesses don't know how to approach either one of those. And even if they can figure out the number, they might not know how to track it over time. And that's just something that direct marketers just know because we've been tuned into it for, decades.
So in order to figure out how much to pay to acquire a customer, obviously it's a percentage of the net profits, right?
Right, and I would take it even further and say it's a percentage of the lifetime value.
That's true. You're right.
Right. And so if you've got a business, use my BMW example. If somebody becomes a loyal BMW customer, their lifetime value could be $1 million to you. So you can spend, if their lifetime value is $1 million, spending $5,000 to get that customer isn't a ridiculous number, right? If you're selling, potato chips.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Right.
Or tennis balls, or I don't know exactly, I keep picking things that are consumable. Maybe it's I'm looking around my office. I don't know. Maybe it's I have the same calculator on my desk that I've had for 20 years. So to get me to buy that calculator, which I paid, $30 for 20 years ago, maybe they couldn't have spent more than $2 to get me to do that. And that's a function. If you're a service business versus a product business, how you think about that is going to be really important.
What role does social media play in acquiring customers? Are you guys, going into Facebook targeted advertising and Instagram, Pinterest, stuff like that?
Yes, we're doing all of that, and I would say that we're learning. We certainly want to do as much kind of organic, just sort of basic brand-related posting because it doesn't cost anything. Mm-hmm. And so we do that just to support the brand. It's also become an important channel for customers to communicate with us, so we monitor social to make sure that we're hearing from our customers and responding. Some people post on social when they have a complaint or they don't know how to cook something, and so it gives us a way to interact with them. We are doing some paid advertising on those channels as well, and we're putting it through our same sort of return on investment funnel that we would any other paid marketing that we do.
Have you tried any of the AI type of bots on your website to actually interact with customers? And that seems to be the rage with a lot of big companies.
We have not. I think we're pretty old school. We really believe in kind of the straightforward approach. Let's have an email, let's have a conversation via email or over the phone. Like right now, at this time of the year, I've got 500 people on the phone taking calls from customers. So people still like to call in. They don't always want to shop online. The thing that we're spending a lot of time on now is making our mobile experience more optimized and better because we're seeing more and more customers want to use their mobile device to shop rather than a desktop website or a tablet. So
you have how many employees?
We have 2,000.
Wow.
And then we add 4,000 more during the holiday season.
Jeez, that's crazy. Any work-at-home positions?
We do. We just introduced work-at-home telephone agents in the last year, and we're going to start to scale that because it has been very effective.
How would somebody apply? You have all those positions listed on the website?
Yeah, they're listed on our website. We have a jobs tab on our website. And right now, we've only been doing work-at-home agents that reside in the state of Nebraska, but we're going to start expanding that beyond the state of Nebraska after the first of the year.
Is that because of tax reasons or logistics?
There are the rules around Nexus. We always want to be compliant with all the applicable regulations. Sure. We've also found that, at least for our trial, most of the people that applied even were from Omaha, and that was great because we could bring them in for like a one-day in-person training session, and we found that that was really effective. So, having some personal ability to have personal contact. So we have stores in other states. We may have the ability to do it in places where we have physical locations, and therefore we can have more interaction.
So what's next for Omaha Steaks? What do you see, say, the next, 30 years? Can you project that far?
I don't know if I can project that far. I think there's opportunities for our brand to continue to grow both nationally and internationally. I think we're going to continue to add sort of bespoke and niche offerings. We have a custom butcher now where we can cut custom steaks for people. We introduced Wagyu beef. We introduced dry-aged steaks. We're selling some grass-fed. We're selling bison. So we're starting to expand our protein offering a little bit beyond just the standard steaks. We'll continue to expand our business gift program. So we do a lot of gifts for businesses to send to customers and employees. And I think you'll see our meals offering expand, and we'll try to help solve that problem that customers have around mealtime and the fact that maybe people aren't cooking quite as much as they were, but they still want great quality, and I think that's where we can play very well.
So if J.J. Simon and his son B.A. Simon, 1917, when they first started, I guess it was then called the Table Supply Meat Company, right?
Right.
If they were to see Omaha Steaks now, over 100 years later, what would they say?
I think they'd say, we never thought the meat business could be like this. And in fact, I'm not even sure we consider ourselves to be in the meat business anymore. I mean, our mission statement is we deliver exceptional experiences that bring people together. We view ourselves as being in the experience business, and we're helping our customers have great home meal, dining, gathering, reconnecting experiences with their family and friends. And even when you give Omaha Steaks as a gift, you're giving that recipient a chance to do the same with their family. So you're not just giving meat in a box, you're giving an experience. And that is, that's a really different way to think about the meat business.
So what is the most, I have to guess it's a steak, right? But what is the most successful product that you sell today?
Well, it's definitely steaks. That's what we're famous for. And it really is the filet mignon. So the Omaha Steaks filet is really what the steak that kind of made us famous. And started it as our major offer to get new customers in the 90s, and that we really helped grow our business. But oftentimes it's that filet mignon in a great combination package. So like the package that you're selling has top sirloin steaks, which is our second most popular steak, and it comes with a whole bunch of other stuff like sausages and pork chops.
Yeah, everything's in this
burgers,
box.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
It just keeps going on and on and on and on and on for $49.99. I'm like, okay, how can you not buy this? I mean, this is such a great deal.
You have to buy it. It is an amazing deal. And we've got similar packages on our website that include fillets. We've got similar packages that include strips or ribeyes. And so a lot of times what our customers do is they do exactly that. They'll buy a combination because not only does it give them the main attraction of the steak, but also desserts and appetizers, side dishes, and even maybe something for the kids or something for your next meal. So, those combinations have really been popular. When you go to omahasteaks.com, you can build your own custom combination. You can build your own custom meal. So we really put a lot of great tools out there so that our customers can enjoy a variety of choices. And remember that this time of the year, and really any time of the year, we're not selling just meat in a box. We're selling the opportunity for our customer family to get together with their family and friends and have a great meal, and a meal that might be easier and quicker to put on the table than some of the other holiday projects you might have going on this season.
What a great story. From humble beginnings to a multi-million-dollar corporation. I tell you, that's the way to build success, with humility and generosity. And I love how each generation was committed to the family legacy. I'd like to thank Todd Simon for inspiring all of us here on the Starting Line podcast. Hey, but don't forget, Todd has set up a great deal for Kim Komando podcast listeners. When you visit omahasteaks.com and you enter my name, Kim, into the search bar, this is an amazing deal. I actually sent this to my brother and my sisters for Christmas. But don't tell them I only spent $49.99 because they're going to think it was so much more, because you get 74% off Omaha Steaks family gift package. Original price is $195, but you can get all of this for $49.99. You get 4 hand-cut, aged to tenderness top sirloin steaks, 2 premium pork chops, 4 chicken fried steaks. But wait, there's a bunch more. 4 Omaha Steak burgers, 4 kielbasa sausages, all beef meatballs, 4 perfectly browned potatoes au gratin, and yes, that was my stomach grumbling, 4 caramel apple tartlets, plus, get this, 4 more burgers for free. Just go to omahasteaks.com and type my name, Kim, into the search bar, and then you get the Omaha Steaks family gift package. Omaha Steaks is a fifth-generation family-owned company with over 100 years of experience delivering fresh foods. And I'll tell you, the food is really good. It makes a great gift, maybe even for yourself. That's omahasteaks.com. Put my name, Kim, into the search bar. Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us. And if you were so inspired, I bet you were, go out there and start your own business. Do better. And be sure to subscribe to the Starting Line podcast so that this way, every time we release a new episode, you get it automatically, maybe even when you're sleeping.